Welcome to the Blackburn podcast match review as Rovers return to football and snatch a 1-0 win at Fortress Ewood against Swansea City. After the first 20 minutes or so, it was a tough watch after that, but we come away with the win. Let's get into the game and starting with that starting 11. So there was three changes with Owen Beck coming back in from suspension. JRC and Cantwell start with a couple of players out. I think it was McFadden and Koji Dubry were out injured. But looking at that starting 11, it's pretty much what we expected in some parts, and there was others where obviously JRC coming in at right back, but Beck starting left back, Hyman Carter centre backs with Tronstad and Travis just continuing that midfield pairing. I mean, they're just not splitting up, are they? And then Cantwell, Dolan and Hedges behind Gueye. We had quite a few subs coming on today. We had 4 subs coming on today with Baker, Britton, Ohashi and Vyman coming off that bench. Coming into the match notes, I was quite happy starting the game. I thought we looked controlled. I thought we was playing it round. We had a couple of chances. Things seem to be quite positive. We was playing it around quite nicely. The weather was fantastic for us to do that. Obviously, a bit of rain recently, but the pitch was beautiful, and we could play that game. We had a couple of chances at the start. I think Cantwell had one at the back post. Gueye had another one at the back post as well. So yeah, it all seemed really positive, and Swansea just looked at 6s and 7s. I really didn't think that they were going to offer much at all. I thought that it was only a matter of time before we got that goal, and we did. And we've been saying that it needs to just coming off the backside of Gueye to get his first goal. Now, it's gone down as a Dolan goal, but it came across. He's headed it back across, and it looks like it's hit Gueye and then hit a defender and gone in. To be honest, it'd probably go down as an own goal, something like that. But hopefully, Gueye does get that goal, and then he can be off to the races. And then after that, it was all downhill. The first few minutes after the goal, it was okay. But then I think from about the 20th minute onwards, it was just atrocious for us. I felt like we was really trying to force it. I thought that I actually tweeted out saying, we need to be quick, but not in a hurry. It feels sometimes we're forcing that play a bit much, and it really did feel that way. The difference between being quick is we're doing the right things, but we're just making sure they're sharp passes, doing that right pass at the right time. But it just felt like we was trying to get it into that final third far too much. We did play it around a little bit at the back, and I quite liked it. I liked what we did. We got some chances. It's something I actually want to break down in the podcast this week about how we do that, where the centre-back plays it into the goalkeeper, and then we try and get it into the second level. And that did tend to work, but for some reason, we was just swapping and changing that final 4 players with Gueye. He popped up at right back at one point. I think he was covering, but, he went across the right wing. Then Dolan was up front. Cantwell was in the hole, and Hedges went across left. And then Hedges was on the right. Cantwell was on the left. Dolan was in the hole. It was just far too much changing for my liking. It was really frustrating. And like I said, we just seemed to be forcing it and being really sloppy. Swansea had their opportunities, but they didn't. I felt like with their opportunities, they just weren't really that clear cut. I don't remember Pears having to do anything major. Looking at the stats, they had 14 shots to our 8. They had way more possession. They were pushing 70% possession. So, yeah, this tells, when you look at the stats, you're looking at this and thinking, well, actually, Swansea were the way better side. And like I said, this is an initial match reaction. I actually do believe that Swansea were probably the better side, and they are going to come away from this feeling very disappointed that they didn't create some more clear-cut opportunities. I just think it was a bit disappointing from our front. We said on the podcast that all we wanted Rovers to do was come and actually put in a good performance. And that first 20 minutes, I really did think that we were, but then it really just petered out. Gueye, you could tell that Dolan was getting really frustrated with Gueye. Beck was moaning at anyone that moved. He seemed really upset on that left back. He deserved his yellow card. I think that was coming with him. But yeah, we was just trying to force it. very frustrating. And come the end, it was all Swansea, and I think we was all expecting Rovers to do Rovers things and concede that final goal, but it didn't come. And maybe this is a new Rovers that we can play poorly and snatch a win. I mean, that's the sign of a champion, isn't it? Being able to do that. So it is nice to be able to come away and actually talk about a win. But I want us to talk about wins after we've put in really solid performances. Looking at individual players now, Pears in goal, like I said, I think he was quite solid with what he had to do, but he didn't have to do much major. He just did your fundamental goalkeeping quite well. Like I said, playing out from the back with Hyam and Carter, I thought they did quite well. JRC, he did really well at right back. He looked normal JRC because he'd had a bit of a down time. Beck at left back, I thought he was found that a little bit a couple of times, looked very frustrated. He actually had to go at Cantwell at one point, which I didn't like. But getting into the midfield, Tronstad and Travis, very solid. Travis doing Travis things, just buzzing around, breaking up the play. There was a couple of times he broke forward and we had a good chances, I would say, or chance to make chances. But yeah, he did quite well. And Tronstad, he was in the right place at the right time quite a lot. Now, getting to that final four, I got quite frustrated with the final four now, and I think most of us did. I'm going to come to Dolan last because I know Dolan's had quite a lot of stick, but I thought Cantwell showed a lot of energy. I thought he showed a lot of endeavour. He looked determined. You can tell he's not a pacey player, and I think that's why Beck had a go at him because Cantwell wasn't tracking back as fast as he wanted him to. But you're not going to get pace out of Cantwell, but you can tell he's got that quality. There's something there that shows he's probably a higher level than what we are, and I quite like that. I mean, he got probably the highest rating in the team, according to WhoScored.com. That's an arguable one, but I was quite impressed with Cantwell. Hedges on the right, I think he was a bit ineffectual at times. He was moaning on the floor quite a bit, but generally I thought he did he did okay. I just wanted him to do a bit more. I have quite high expectations of Hedges now. I want him to unlock things going forward. And then it comes to that final two of Gueye. Gueye, you could tell he had that energy. He was getting himself about. He was winning the ball, but then he realised that wasn't what he needed to do. He needed to be on that final line. So I think Gueye works quite well if he's got someone up top with him because he can win the ball, knock it off, and then we can then counter-attack. So whilst I don't think it really suits our play, he doesn't really suit our play. He did do okay, but he just needs to be on that final line, just poaching for me, using his physicality in the box, not on the halfway line. And then Dolan. So Dolan got quite a good rating at a 7.6. The goal went down as his. But the reason I really wanted to bring up Dolan, I know he's taken a lot of slack recently. For me, it's just his decision making. I think he does well to get in the positions that he does. He does well to be part of the play. But there's just that final ball, that final decision. And he seems to act like it's everyone else's fault. There was one where he held the ball and then he went to play it to Gueye, and Gueye had stopped because he would have been offside. And he looks like he's given Gueye a mouthful. I don't like that. I think you've just got to take responsibility for the fact that you held it up a bit too much. A couple of times playing crossfield balls when he didn't need to, chopping back when he didn't need to. We have a real good quality player in Dolan, and I think he can really make it. He just needs to sort his decision making out, and that probably comes with experience. But he's got a lot of games now. I think he's definitely someone that we need to break down in the pod. I mean, he hasn't got his contract yet, which isn't ideal, but yeah, he's definitely someone I want to talk about in the pod. And then players coming on, Baker, Britton, Vyman, Ohashi. Vyman had his chance, but Ohashi was buzzing around. He looks tired. He does look tired when he comes on towards the end of games, and it was good to see him coming, having a bit of a rest and being on the bench. But yeah, just a frustrating game, I think, coming at the end of that. I thought the subs probably came at about the right time. 59th minute, Gueye coming off for Ohashi, 71st for Dolan. Maybe them ones on the 71st minute should have really come on. Cantwell was obviously coming off quite late in the game. Maybe we needed to bring on a few more subs a bit earlier, but like I said, I need to have a watch of it back and do a proper breakdown of it, because at this moment it feels like a very frustrated 1-0 win, which is a nice thing in one way, but in a way I should be telling myself, last year Rovers would have lost this, and we've won it. We're doing well. We've come off the international break, and it may have been that we've snatched the 3 points, but I will take it. There was a few positives. There was a few negatives. We asked for a good performance, and in that first 20 minutes, we did get that. But then we just petered out. I don't know whether it was a little bit of confidence in seeing games out, going for that second goal. I don't know, but like I said, we'll break it down in the podcast. We'll discuss more. I want to discuss that playing out from the back. I want to discuss that final third. So Mark and I will get that on. It's going to be out Tuesday. We're going to delve into it more. Make sure you do tune in, because we will come into this one a little bit more in depth. And but like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. We're trying to expand the channel. The more that you do for us, the more that we can do back for you. So have a good weekend, guys. It's a 1-0 win. Let's take it, and we'll see you on Tuesday.